Best Christmas movie of all time. Die Hard. Happy trails, Hans. What's up, guys? My name's John, and welcome back to Whisper Tactical. Merry Christmas, and yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Oh, baby! I love this gun. This gun right here, to me, is a part of history. And for the people who put this down and said that they need to modernize it, don't buy it. Merry Christmas. I hope you guys are having a great holiday. And I just decided that in the Christmas season, given Die Hard is the greatest movie of all time, I would come out here and shoot my MP5, SP5 civilian model, you know, and shoot the Beretta. I mean, what better pair of guns to shoot this time of year? Cannot beat it. So, what we're going to do is just get some. Merry Christmas, guys. I love you all so much. I am freezing to death. Even with a jacket on, I was cold, so I figured, what the heck. Guy down at Meridian Ordnance helped me work on a gun belt. I don't know if you can see it, but I got one on. Guys, it's getting really bad. I'm an hour away from home. I need to get my family home. They're opening Christmas presents, but we didn't intend on it to be like this. So guys, you all stay safe. Have a wonderful Christmas. Have a very happy New Year's. I love you all. Subscribe, like, share my videos. Comment down below. Tell me what kind of review you want to see me do. Do you want to see me do the SP5 and the Beretta together? Or do you want me to do them separate and then just talk about them separate? Tell me what you want me to do. Anyways, guys, I love you all. Stay safe, guys. I'm not really doing my normal video. I am with my little helper here, and we are going to put together a very, very kind of quick, but very, very good dinner that you could do just as a family. Like, I get that the way everything is now. Are you sure? Okay. So I get the way that everything is now. Like, a lot of people aren't going to be getting together and having like big family Christmases and all that. And it's just going to be just pretty much you, your wife, you, your husband, and your kids. Just 4 or 5 of you, you know, in the house. And this is just a really, really different and very easy recipe. Are you sure? This is a very different and very easy recipe to make. So I'm going to say this. The first thing you need to do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees. You're going to need a cast iron skillet. You're going to need a normal skillet. Then you are going to need a normal, smaller skillet. A Tomahawk ribeye steak. Mine is 3.26 pounds. And Walmart is stocking these like crazy right now because they know it's the holidays and this is the kind of stuff that everybody does together. So you're gonna let this thing sit out for probably 30 minutes to an hour. Let it get room temperature. And as soon as it hits room temperature, go ahead and turn your cast iron skillet on to about medium heat. Medium, in between medium high. So if you've got numbers, hit 5, 6. Oh, was that so funny? The ribeye tomahawk steak has the big bone. Ribeye on both sides. We're gonna get a plate for the ribeye. You are going to need, seasonings wise, ground coffee, flavor of your choice. I have vanilla, I'm using vanilla. Light brown sugar, kosher salt, chili powder, black pepper, smoked paprika, garlic powder. Ribeye or steaks or any kind of crusted ribeyes like that, I typically use about a tablespoon for every pound and a half. Technically it should call for a little bit more than that. Technically I should have about 3 tablespoons in here, but I've only got a little over 2, around 2 and a half, because I don't really want that sweet flavor to really kick through. I just want a hint of it. So for mine, it's 3.26 pounds. I've got about 2.5 tablespoons of light brown sugar. I usually use about a half a teaspoon per pound of meat. When you do crusted stuff this way, that's not how much I put on my normal steak. If I'm just making a steak, that's a lot. 3 tablespoons of coffee, roughly a tablespoon per pound. Oh, did you headbutt me, baby? A tablespoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of chili powder, and a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Now this is the recipe for a 3 1/4 pound steak. So when it comes to salt and steaks and meats and stuff like that, you're going to use about 3/4 of a teaspoon to a teaspoon per pound of meat. So for this guy, there's 3 teaspoons and a tablespoon, and I know that this is 3 pounds and it's a touch over, so I'm going to go ahead and just use a whole tablespoon of coarse kosher salt. My pan is smoking, so you've got these big hunks of fat. See these big hunks of fat? You're going to take a really sharp knife and you are going to cut. Try not to cut into the meat. Check this out, right? See this? Here. Ooh. Yep, that's where it's at. Let that fat render down just a little bit. You are going to mix up your seasonings. Don't be afraid to get in there with your hand. Turn your vent on because this will set off your smoke detector, fire alarm, all that good stuff. I will put the recipe instructions in the description below. Get a clean paper towel. Dab off any excess moisture on your meat. Grab you a fork or a spoon or something and just kind of stir around that fat. Don't let it sit too long on one side and scorch. You don't want that burnt, scorchy taste in your meat. A little bit of oil, rub a little bit onto the meat. Extremely lightly coated, right? That's rendered down pretty good. I'm going to pop that off of the heat for a second. That smoking will stop. Take your seasonings. Just kind of coat the top there. Now, you're going to rub this stuff in, guys. So when you're done rubbing your meat in, it should look something like this. Rubbing your meat in. When you're done rubbing your seasonings in. Oh man. It should look a little like that. Right? Good job. Now this is going to smoke. but this is absolutely necessary for this meat, okay? You have to set your burner on medium high. You don't want to get it so hot that it's a Pittsburgh style. So when it gets hot enough to where it's going to give it a good sear and a good golden crust, and it's going to make a crust out of this seasoning mix that you made, that's what you want. But you don't want to throw it in there and it immediately just scorch it. Butter. And by butter, I don't mean stick butter. I mean good old country crock. Half a tablespoon. And you're going to pop it in your pan. Now you hear that sizzling? I'll bring you over to it. You're ready to go. Grab your steak. Now you can hear that sizzling. You're doing this stovetop in a cast iron skillet to get the sear and then put it in the oven. You've got to cook it at a low temperature in the oven because you don't want to just blast this thing with heat, because the outsides of the steak is going to get probably 30 degrees hotter at that point than the internal of the steak, than the inside of the steak. So if you're like me and you like a medium rare, then you got to check this thing with an actual thermometer every now and then. And once you hit about 125, 130 degrees, 125 degrees being rare, you got to pull it out. Okay, you're going to pull it out, you're going to take it away from the heat, you're going to take it out of the skillet, you're going to set it on a plate, you're going to let it rest for 5 to 10 minutes. During that rest period, it is going to cook up another probably 5, 10, 15 degrees. So that's why I'm saying you don't want to overcook it. And the reason for doing such a quick sear on the actual stove top is because you want this much of the top and bottom of the steak to cook. You don't want enough heat to actually start cooking the internals. You want that to finish off in the oven. While this is happening here, you're going to get another paper towel and some aluminum foil. You are going to get your paper towel wet and you are going to wring it out just to where it's damp. Not soaking wet, not dripping, not dry, but damp. If you wring it right now with your hand like you squeeze it, you want a little bit of water to come out, but not a crazy lot. So I'm going to turn my heat down a little bit. That's what happens when you use brown sugar. When you make a crust, it will actually over caramelize. It'll be terrible. But some people like that. A lot of people like that. Now set it up on the side there, let a little bit of that fat kind of render out. We're going to take our paper towel, wet paper towel. We'll pull this off the heat while I do this because it's getting too hot. Okay, we're going to We are going to wrap it as well. It's December the 23rd. It's Christmas season. There are a lot of great Christmas movies out there. And one of my all-time favorite Christmas movies is Die Hard. I love Die Hard. It's a fantastic Christmas movie. And as a matter of fact, I always have 2 guns for home defense. And 'tis the season. So my home defense guns for this next couple of weeks is a HK SP5 and a Beretta. Can't get any better than Die Hard, and you can't have any better weapons to defend your home with than what he uses to save all of the people in Nakatomi Tower. I'm not putting it fat side down, I'm not putting it top or bottom side down. I'm going to set it in my skillet like this with the bone down. Prop it up, that way the heat can go into the sides, the top, up and underneath, into the bottom. I'm probably going to pull it out every 20 minutes and I'm going to stick a thermometer in it. And as soon as I get to the middle and it reads 125, 130, I'm pulling it. That way it'll cook up and be a nice medium to medium rare, so everyone can enjoy it. If it was me, I would eat it medium rare to rare, but everyone else may want a piece and it's just not their forte. So we are going to put this in the oven right now and see how long it takes to cook. Your top rack should be in the middle. Put that bad boy right there in the middle. Set a alarm for 20 minutes. Also guys, you gotta have a Capri Sun. Can't make a video, can't shoot guns, you can't cook, you can't drive, you can't take a shower, You can't do anything in this world unless you have a Capri Sun. While the steak is cooking, we are going to clean up our mess. You want to say hi? Look. Take your pampy out. Look. Say hi. Can you wait? Say hello. Say hi. Say Merry Christmas. Oh man. Yay. Say Merry Christmas. Can you do it? Yeah, Merry Christmas. Yay. Say it. Look at the camera. Merry Christmas. But I'm telling you, Monster Honey, you almost killed me there. You good? Are you going? Keep going. Go ahead. Just go on through the house there. So for my veggies, I like squash and zucchini. Wash them off real good. Cut the end off. Cut the bottom off. My first 20 minutes is up. You have to have an electronic thermometer. If you're gonna cook stuff like this, you really need one. And we are reading 86 degrees. So we're gonna stand her back up here. We're gonna put her back in on the top shelf. Cut your veggies however you want them. If you want them in chips, cut them about yay thick. That is about probably 1/4 of an inch almost. Little under 1/4 of an inch. Cut long strips just like this. So, cut you some good strips. I use normal pepper, but for the zucchini I use a pink Himalayan sea salt. Himalayan pink sea salt, just sprinkle it over it and then sprinkle the pepper over it, not a lot, and only do one side because you're gonna saute these in a little bit of butter, and the saltiness from the butter is gonna work into one side, and then the salt and the pepper, when you flip it, it's gonna work into the other, and you're gonna get two different salty tones in one bite, and it's really good. We're gonna take this Vidalia, cut it in half like this, cut the top off and the bottom off, and then instead of having a whole round, just cut it in half and then just slip right down through the halves and make little cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cuts across through there. That's that. Look at my little carnivore eating up her little filet mignon. Her's eating the filet mignon. So I just pulled the steak out for the second time, and this is what we're looking like here. Now that outside, don't pay no attention to that. That's gonna happen. You're not gonna get around that. It's been in the oven for a total of about 50 minutes now. Check it again here. 117, 120, 125. We're at 124, 123, 126 on the edges. 135 on the edges, guys. That's what I'm talking about. 145. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shut the oven off, and I'm going to pop it back into the oven just to get it to medium rare. I want to get it to medium rare, so I want the internals to be about 135. I'm going to number 4, medium heat. Number 4, medium heat. Spoonful of butter in the onions, and about a half a tablespoon of butter in the vegetable pan. Now the thing about the zucchini and the squash is you don't want butter excess standing in the pan that covers, like, so when you got this in the pan, you don't want the butter to come up over top of the edge of the vegetable. So you just want enough to coat it like so, thinly coated. Thinly coated. Lay it down. Now look, if you like soggy vegetables, then just let them cook. But if you're like me and you do not like soggy vegetables, then they are gonna, at one point, they are gonna get a translucent looking spot in them. Flip it at that point. Light coat of salt and pepper. A light coat of salt and pepper. I can't express it enough. Light coat. I'm looking for that translucent spot. Okay, here we go. So do you see how that's starting to kind of look a translucent color? And how you can see it right here, and right here, and right here, and right here. That's when you flip them. Daggone it. I should have flipped these. I should have flipped these before I ever touched those onions. I'll show you. This you can see the translucent here really good. This is what I'm talking about. See all those, it looks like water spots in them. That's the translucent look that you're looking for. Now sometimes, if you cut them just a tad too thick, you're not gonna get that translucent color. It's gonna cook too much before it actually shines through. So these are done. Let me get them on their own plate. Put a tad bit more butter back in here. Just enough to soften the next batch. Like when you know in your heart that they have cooked long enough and you still don't see that translucent look, pull them, guys. All right, now another thin layer of salt, just kind of sprinkled evenly all over the place. Same thing with pepper, just kind of all over the place, guys. It's still gonna have a little bit of a crunch, but this is too soggy for me. I should have flipped it sooner. All right, this is taking a little bit too long, so I'm gonna go ahead, open this oven a little bit, let some of that excess heat out of there. Get that cooking. I can't help myself, golly. They're perfect. I thought because of that fold that I cooked them a little bit too much. No, they're not soggy, but they still got that. When you bite through it, they've got that body, that oomph. When you, it's just a little crunch. So good. Onions will burn. They will brown. You don't want them to do that. Just keep spinning them. Okay, so I was talking about the color of the peeling of the zucchini and squash and how it becomes it just stands out. It becomes vibrant, and the color actually bleeds into the meat. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So look at how the color is bleeding into the meat. Ooh, got my camera a little fogged up there, but you can see the edges. How that green is just standing out there. I need to turn that heat down or add a little bit more butter because those zucchinis were just a tad bit too dry there. Shut that heat off. Zucchinis are done. Now, ow, it's hot. That's good. Woo! Shut the heat off for the onions, but still keep them going. Still keep them going. If they seem too dry, add a little bit a little bit more butter into them. We're not trying to be healthy here, guys. We're just trying to make everything taste good. And I promise you, if you do this, it'll taste good. Meridian Ordnance. The time is now. We'll cut into it together just to see how it looks. It's good and juicy. It's like a perfect medium rare. All right, guys. So, yeah. Now let me show you how to present this here. Man, look at that. Ow, that hurts my hand because it's so freaking hot. So look, guys, that's why it's perfect. So right here is for your medium lovers, for the guys who don't want the rare and mid-rare. Get onto your outside pieces and you got perfect medium. Doesn't get much better. Doesn't get much better than that right there. So, and for those of you all who want to say, oh, that's not medium rare, that's medium well. I'm pretty sure you can tell by the way it looks. It's medium rare. Okay, guys, so let's finish this presentation up here. So when you take a bite of this, so you're going to cut it, right? So you're going to get this bite, but you're only going to get that crust and that crust. So let's try. I got the coffee, got the sugar, I got the smoky flavor, I got the kick from the chili powder. I'm not tasting the garlic. Honestly, guys, I'm not tasting the garlic. There was the garlic and sugar, guys. It was just... Dear God. You won't taste the sugar until you hit a bite of that fat. The fat soaked up all the sugar flavor. Okay, guys, so I've got my plate plated up. I've got Zeke's plate plated up. We are ready to eat. I'm going to show them to you really quick, but I want to say this. If you do not want to do the recipe that I did because you're afraid of that coffee crust and get it, trust me, I understand. It took me a while before I actually attempted this with such an expensive piece of meat. It's worth it if you do it right. If you do it wrong and you don't pay attention to it, then it's not going to be any good. Mine seared for a couple of minutes on each side, and then it went into the oven at 350 for about 45 minutes. Right, that was it. I shouldn't have put it back in there and let it sit while I sauteed the onions. I shouldn't have done that, but I did. Okay, here we go. So I haven't dressed the potatoes yet, so here we go. Mine has the onions. Zeke doesn't like onions. Look at that. Golly, look at that. Those vegetables, so good, so crisp. That meat, so rare, so pretty. Let's get out of here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that crust. Look at that crust. Boom. It's just one of those things, guys. Us gun guys, typically cooking goes hand in hand with it. So, yeah, we like guns, we like knives, we like outdoors, we like Family Guy, we love Capri Suns. And we like cooking, guys. Thank you all so much. Have a very, very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's. I wish you all the best. Much love from my family to yours. Say bye-bye. Say Merry Christmas. Thank you guys so much. Like my video, comment down below. Tell me if you liked it. What would you like to see me do with the SP5 and the Beretta? I'm actually going to do a review on those things together. Since it's Christmas, it's probably not going to be out until after Christmas. But yeah, guys, like the video, comment down below, subscribe to my channel, share my video, guys. I love you all so much. Thank you for everything you're doing for me. Until next time, y'all stay safe.